So now we're at video number 51. And after having watched 50 videos, are your convictions now being cemented? I guess 50 videos. I guess it's kind of a milestone. But I often wonder, how deep does this rabbit hole really go? And to be honest, I'm not sure. But I want to find out. What about you? So I'm sure a lot of people in my audience might be wondering, why am I making this video series and going down this rabbit hole? And that's a question I ask myself often, and I pray about it. I pray about that question, and I get comfort from the answers to my prayers. I always get comfort. It's amazing. So one of the questions I ask myself is, well, what if I just kept quiet and said nothing? Oh my God. At this point in time, I can't imagine. I can't imagine keeping quiet about any of the things I've discussed as we've gone down this rabbit hole. I could just continue living my life, go for a beer on a Friday night and, work hard to make more money. But how would I feel? I don't think I'd get any satisfaction, especially considering the things that I've learned. And it makes me tremble to think, what if I said nothing? What would happen to me if I just kept quiet? So I'm hoping the audience can sympathize with my situation. It's enormous. The things that I've learned since I was disfellowshipped in the year 2005, and what's that, 14 years, going on 15 years now? Well, when I was disfellowshipped, I definitely felt an obligation to explain why, and because the things I discerned then were so frightening, I thought everyone should know. And then when I did that, even more, there were even more things that were even more frightening than that I began to understand, and I prayed about continually every day for the last 14 going on 15 years. So I'm hoping that your convictions are being cemented through me recognizing that, I should observe that commandment because I've been helped. And it's Jehovah and his son, Jesus Christ, that have helped me all through those last 14 years. And recognizing that he's doing exactly what he said he would do. And that he does want to help. So in Peter's letter, says, provided you have tasted that the Lord is kind. And so through me observing that commandment, I'm really hoping that the audience that I have left now is also recognizing that, yeah, the Lord is kind. And it's not just a little bit of kindness, it's truly enormous. And so, if you in turn bear witness to these things, will more be given to you? I'm confident that, yeah, Jesus Christ will indeed do exactly what he said he would do. If you observe that commandment, he'll continue giving you, the audience, even more. Just the same as throughout the last 14 years, I've been given more and more. And so I'm going to confess to you that as I've been going down this rabbit hole, I've discussed things that I've been given as I'm going down this rabbit hole. And so now I'm really wondering, when will we reach the bottom? And how amazing are the things waiting for all of us at the bottom of this rabbit hole? So I'm hoping you can all sympathize with my predicament, but also recognize and taste that, yeah, the Lord is kind. And that even though I'm aware that all these things are new and people may indeed find many of the things difficult to bear, and that some wineskins may indeed burst, I hope you recognize that I've made every effort to try not to burst any wineskins, even though recognizing that, yeah, some people will find many of these things too difficult to bear. And yet, should that stop me? And should I remain quiet because I don't want to burst any wineskins? No. But it does make me very carefully think about how I should proceed down this rabbit hole. And it's definitely not my intent to purposefully burst any wineskins, because then I would be judged if that was my intent. And that makes me tremble. And so, yeah, I pray every day, especially immediately before I decide to make a video, because I recognize I need to keep going down this rabbit hole, and I hope to be found going down this rabbit hole when Jesus Christ eventually does appear. And make every effort along the way to take more and more people out of that place of darkness and show them just how powerful Jesus Christ is. And help people recognize how merciful Jehovah is and kind. And also recognizing that one of the biggest issues is listening. People won't want to listen. And For that reason, they will be broken, fall backwards, ensnared, caught. And I really hope that because they didn't listen, I hope they won't be found weeping and gnashing their teeth when Jesus Christ does arrive. But I recognize that the scriptures have to be fulfilled. And that should anyone whose wineskin has been burst, I really hope they do come back and keep following down this rabbit hole. But that might get harder and harder to do for the people who didn't want to continue listening or examining this particular time. And so in Isaiah chapter 28, where it says, "Do not be scoffers, because your bands will grow stronger," it makes sense, because it'll be harder and harder, even more and more humiliation just to come back and keep listening to command upon command, measuring line upon measuring line, here a little, there a little. It'll be harder to come back. So there's a point in time in the scriptures where Jehovah says that he will clear up the waters and the rivers will run just like oil. And so, why does he need to clear up the waters? Well, the reason why is because the waters have been muddied. All the things we've been previously convinced to believe were not clear. They've held us back from understanding the truth and from conquering Satan. And in fact, the things we were previously convinced to believe probably made it easier for Satan to deceive us. And so I often think about my motives. Are they bad? No, I can't see any reason to think why my motives for going down this rabbit hole and inviting everyone else to do it, to come down with me, I can't think of any reason why those motives might be bad. Because after all, can you see how you now might conquer Satan and obtain an inheritance reserved in the heavens for you? If you can see it, then hopefully you'll understand that my motives for simply paying forward the things that I've been helped with, observing Jesus Christ's commandment, my motives for doing that should also reflect Jesus Christ's motives, because he did say he'd help us to understand what to do and why to do it, and help us in such a way that eventually our grief, and we've all been suffering, being excluded by reason of God's actual name, shunned by our own family and our brothers that we've left behind in the kingdom hall, persecuted, reproached, having the people that we've left behind in the kingdom hall lyingly say wicked things about us, isolated, trying to find a new home to live and a way to pay the bills. And so through traveling down this rabbit hole are all those grievous things that have happened to you, is it now turning around and your grief is beginning to change into joy? And it should, because after all, now there's an inheritance reserved in the heavens for you. An enormous blessing that is almost unimaginable. If you've tasted that the Lord is kind, imagine what kind of reward we might get when He does appear. With rejoicing on our part. So, through going down this rabbit hole, hopefully I've helped you to conquer Satan. And you can recognize that if the entire ex-Jehovah's Witness community understood these things, do you see how quickly the man of lawlessness would be done away with? If hundreds of thousands of disfellowshipped Jehovah's Witnesses observed Jesus Christ's commandment and simply paid all these things forward, all the things that we've learned in the last 50 videos, and most especially those 3 videos that I invited everyone to watch. Videos concerning sin and judgment. So I make these videos without feeling any shame at all, because it's a blessing being extended by Jesus Christ. It's amazing. And so my hope is that no wineskins are burst by any of these new things. That hopefully everyone is now able to bear. Remember in John chapter 16, I have many things to tell you, but you're not able to bear them yet. So hopefully now you are bearing them and recognizing how your grief will indeed be changed into a joy that no one can take from you. Doesn't matter if they're lyingly saying wicked things about you in the kingdom hall. Those people should never, ever, ever be able to now take your joy away. And you should be able to observe Jesus Christ's commandment and bear witness to them about that. Nope, go ahead, lyingly say wicked things about me. You are not ever taking my joy away. But I will also extend Jesus Christ's kindness to you, if you want to listen and examine this particular time. So can you do that? Can you now stand in front of those people you've left behind? And in fact, stand in front of anyone else in the ex-Jehovah's Witness community who can continue saying, oh, it's just a cult. Nothing important happening here. Can you stand in front of those people with absolutely no shame at all and explain these things to them? Recognizing that, yeah, they'll probably oppose you. Even those people that are going through the same things as you are, you'll get some opposition. And that if they understood everything that you should now be understanding after watching those 50 videos, they also would be obtaining a joy that no one could take away from them. And so is there any shame in observing Jesus Christ's commandment? Nope. There's none. Do you really understand how powerful you now are if your convictions have been cemented? And that if you observe Jesus Christ's commandments, He'll give you more. He really is that kind. Have you tasted that the Lord is kind? So there you go. Video number 51. And yeah, I quoted some scriptures, but you know what they are and how to find them. So are you ready? Are you ready to meet Jesus Christ with a gift offering? And stand in front of Him with no shame.